Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are yet again with some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today it is going to be a game between NightEnD and Judge. We are on the map Antigua Shipyard. Our red Terran player spawning in the upper right-hand spawn location is Judge. And then over here spawning in the upper left-hand position, we've got our blue Protoss player, NightEnD. So yes, it is going to be a Terran versus Protoss, a Judge versus NightEnD here on Antigua Shipyard. How exciting indeed. Just the single game, no series. Recently I've been doing actually a lot of single game commentaries, except the other day, a day or two ago, I did a best of 5 TVZ. It was amazing. If you missed it, go take a look. All 5 games pretty interesting, very varying types of games as well. Long macro games, short, really intense games. Gotta love it, gotta love it. I try to find good best of series. Major problem is that there are a fair amount of best of series, but they're not always of the greatest players, and as such the games may not really be the greatest either. So I keep an eye out for good players in a long series, and when we get those, I try to bring them to you. NightEnD drops out pylon, heads on out with the probe. We actually making it on into Judge's base very early on. So this early scouting from him it's going to actually allow him to do a bit of harass as well. As he waltzes right into the main, he has the opportunity to do some harass on that SCV. Actually force an SCV off the resource line, but apparently now NightEnD deciding not to do that, at least initially. Scouting out, he spots the fact that there is no refinery. Kind of a giveaway, of course, that there is going to be a 1-Rax expand from his opponent here. Actually, look at that. Very nice. Judge finishes the wall off, pulls off the racks momentarily, finishes the wall off with that supply depot, now trapping NightEnD inside of the main. So, unfortunately now for NightEnD, he really is just kind of out of luck. He will be losing this probe, and nothing that he can do about it. As that Rax is now just finishing. Here comes that first Marine, as well as that orbital command. And once that first Marine is out, sayonara sucker. Or probe. Sayonara probe. That's better. Back over here for NightEnD, no Cyber Core. Looks like he'll be going expansion first. He's got the gateway out. We'll be dropping in Nexus now before his Cyber Core. Again, he spots the fast expansion from Judge, so he knows that he's doing that. He knows he doesn't have to be too concerned about early game aggression, so foregoing that Cyber Core in favor, firstly, of the Nexus. And what? Oh, facepalm. That really should not have happened. Judge laughing at himself, realizing, hey man, I should probably not have let that probe out of my main. He had it dead to rights, and he accidentally left that depot down, allowing the probe to escape. That is actually quite hilarious indeed. Good on Judge for laughing at himself, though. I mean, you have got to have a sense of humor, especially when you screw up that badly. It wasn't a game-breaking, but again, that was a free kill for him that he just lost unnecessarily. So unfortunate at the very least. Judge sending this Marine on a patrol route here. He'll just be moving back and forth. This is going to let him spot a couple things. Any aggression that moves up from that angle. Also any secondary scouts. You did see that he sent his Marine all the way around here. He was looking for hidden probes that would be trying to move back in for secondary scouting. So he's going to be utilizing that Marine to spot any of that, and SCV sneaks right by the Zealots, making his way into the main. Stalker gets the kill though. One more shot. Yeah, okay, come on. What is going on? Both players just doing a little bit of silliness here early on. Judge letting the probe out, NightEnD letting that SCV fully scout his main. He could have killed. The Stalker was within range. I think he thought he had the last shot and then pulled him back. It was like, whoops. SCV's still running around. Oh well. 2 more gateways get dropped here for NightEnD. That Cyber Core is up, coming out with that Warp Gate research. First Stalker heading out across the map. Second Stalker almost finished. That will be joining the first Stalker here. He'll be pushing on up, spotting the bunker, and then just should be pulling back. Just out of the range of the Marine there, but he should be pulling back pretty much instantly, as the Marines will be able to shoot him the second he gets vision. Yeah, you can see as soon as he gets far enough up to gain vision of the high ground, the bunker is within range. One thing I think that could happen is he could sneak up here with one Stalker and then hit this with the second Stalker. But I actually do think that this would still be within range of the Marines inside of that bunker, so nothing doing. Looks like he will just be chilling out for the time being. This is actually really funny if you look at this situation. A patrolling Marine, la-da-da-da-da. Got a bunch of Stalkers over here, and no one's doing anything. He's like, I'll just watch. I will walk my path and watch those Stalkers sit outside of the natural expansion. NightEnD coming out with a few more units here before that Warp Gate research finishes. We got Zelda and a Sentry coming on through, just trying to get some early game defenses. Make sure he has some semblance of an army. Also dropping a Robotics coming out over here, so we'll be 3-gate Robo to start for our buddy NightEnD. How's our buddy Judge doing? Over here, Judge coming out Bio. He's got a factory coming on through as well. He will then be working his way up into Starport. Probably somewhere around here as well, as he's likely to also put that reactor down. So build the Starport nice and close, get the reactor on the factory, and then just do a hot swap. That's what you'll see more times than not here. But yes, Judge will be going bio heavy here. He's got Stimpack research coming on through. Also grabbing a reactor right here on this racks. And there it is, the Starport and the reactor. Look at that, calling it. Call it like you see it. That's weird. Doesn't make any sense. I'll stop talking. Robo just about finished right now, and here comes the Observer. Observer first, allowing him to get some scouting intel. Again, taking a look at the vision here for NightEnD. He hasn't seen a lot in a while. He spotted the expansion building. He spotted that bunker up front, but he doesn't know what's going on in terms of production buildings at all. He doesn't know about these racks. He does not know about the Starport, which is about to get a reactor there from that factory. So all of this information, of course, would be good to know. We do also have a forge and 2 forges and a Twilight Council here for NightEnD. Also coming out with some Immortals for early game defense against Marauders. Observer Scout making its way on through, passes right over the Marine. Says, decides not to bother with him. Probably just doesn't want Judge to know that he's got an Observer. If the Stalkers just started randomly shooting him, he'd be a little bit aware as to what was going on. All depots lowered. Bio looks ready. As the first 2 medevacs are out, Judge will be pushing out. Very, relatively popular tactic there. You get your first couple medevacs and you just move out, see what you can do. Maybe try to throw a little drop in the main, hit a little bit at the front. Of course, you've got that extra mobility there from those 2 medevacs, so might as well utilize it. Stalkers prepared to push that factory back, preventing him from being able to move on in any further. I am 100% certain that he scouted out those medevacs. So chilling out in the main, just in case there's a drop, is going to be a good idea. Map control right now going to Judge, moving up with 1 Stim Marine, checking to see if there was a 3rd. The rest of his forces are over here. He's going to stim up just to see what's out front. Zealots, a few sentries, some mortal. Is he going to risk it? I think he's going to try. Preparing to push on forward. He stims up and meets a force field wall. It's going to force him to pull back. Here comes a drop. Needs to be very careful. There are way too many Stalkers there. And he drops everything and decides to pull back. There you go. So, we saw NightEnD was properly prepared for that. Basically what we saw there is Judge tried to push up. He forced the force field wall. And then after, they had used their energy and were all the way down here trying to defend this, he wanted to just drop in the main and do some damage. Maybe snipe a building or something before these forces made it on up. But again, we saw NightEnD was prepared for that. There's a scan as well there from Judge. NightEnD was prepared for that with those Stalkers, completely nullifying any effectiveness that plan would have had. Judge planning to move into his 3rd right now. Also scouting out the 3rd over here. And we'll be sending a Marine checking for these possible hidden expansions as well. Charge upgrade now finishing. Also the Templar Archives is coming out, so we will be seeing some Charge Zealot Archon action. We see that Psionic Storm research, also seeing some High Templar thrown into there. Might not need that quite as of yet. Could just probably stick with Archons in the early stage of the game. Gateway heavy, nevertheless, though. Won't be working into Colossus quite as of yet. Maybe at some point in the future, but not right now. Observer Scout over here spots that expansion. He knows it. He knows it's there. He's also going to know when any pushes are coming as he pulls on down into a better spot. Should be able to see when that bio decides to move out. Scanning for the Observer, completely off the mark. Sorry, Judge, that was way far off. Way far off indeed. Judge now moving into Ghost. He's got an armory coming out, which will allow him to continue up these weapons and armor upgrades here out of the engineering base. He has got a few Ghosts coming through, none in play yet, but 2 Ghosts coming through. Also working his way into Vikings, which actually is really terrible because there are no Colossus, nor are there going to be any Colossus anytime soon. We'll go to Robotics Facility, but no Robotics Bay. Goodbye, Viking. Nice to know ya. So hopefully he halts the production of those Vikings. That is it looks like. Nothing else in play right now, nothing being produced. Preparing for that switch, though, at some point. More and more Ghosts coming out. The Mobius reactor almost finished. That is, of course, the extra energy for those Ghosts upon completion. Allows him to, be able to get more energy as soon as they come out, which allows him to, of course, EMP quicker and everything like that. Couple units stimming up. A drop the pylon doesn't end up canceling it in time, so NightEnD loses those resources. I'll take a quick look here at the resources loss again. Not a whole lot has happened this game, but I think it's about to get real in just one moment. Charge Zealot, Archon, Stalker in the mix, Sentry, and a few Immortals. Large force here from NightEnD. Army-wise, NightEnd's got a distinct advantage. Big thing he has to contend with, though, is EMPs, which can really hurt him, so has to be very, very, very careful here. Judge trying to form somewhat of a concave, stimming up, and here it comes, the push, moving straight towards him. Charge Zealot's moving on forward. We saw some nice EMPs doing a lot of damage there as well. Unfortunately, the Zealots getting a little bit blocked by their own force fields, but man, oh man, overall it is looking good right now for NightEnD. No counter aggression at all coming from Judge or anything. Too busy defending this at the moment. We got a pylon over here, some reinforcements moving on down as well. Forced to pull down with SCVs, and this is going to really start hurting very quick. The worker count gets lower and lower as NightEnD keeps killing off workers in this engagement. Stimmed up Bio doing very well though. And he actually manages to hold him off momentarily, but then we're just going to see NightEnD turn around and walk straight towards this expansion. That was going to get hit from the backside. We, of course, have to expect that. Not a lot of energy there on those sentries. Can't even drop a single force field. And now he's pinned in a corner. SCV's pulling down to engage. Bio stimming up. Still not enough, though. Judge is really hurting here as NightEnD continues to lay the smackdown. He's going to now be forced to pull all the way back. Going to lose these two buildings over here. Getting, very close to supply block. Oh, never mind. He's not close to supply block. He's going to lose this, though. That's going to drop him down a few more supply. I thought he would have been close to supply block, but then I realized, oh yeah, he just lost a ton of units. So I guess that's a no. Judge in a very bad position right now. Taking a look here. He is behind. Not by much, but he's behind by almost 1,000 resources. However, look at that. 30 workers killed. That really, really hurts him. NightEnD now just working into, and you might say, how did that happen? You might be scratching your head right now, like, what? How? Who? Well, it's simply because NightEnD decided to stay on 2 bases and didn't get that third. That allowed him the extra income to be able to afford a larger army and push out against Judge. I mean, Judge, okay, now Judge is still on 2 bases, which is technically what NightEnD is mining from as well. But losing those workers hurt him significantly. That's a lot of not mining that's taking place right now. 30 less SCVs. It also forces him to come out with some more. Although he is fairly saturated, so he's not actually going to have to make too many more. Once he gets his expansion up again, we'll just be able to transfer on over a bunch of workers. But look how far away he is from an expansion. I mean, he's just rebuilding this right now. He's coming out with those 3-3 upgrades. Now that's going to help him a lot. Over here for NightEnD, he is only 1-1 at the moment, coming out with 2-2. So that could help out Judge a lot. If he gets up those 3-3 upgrades and can push out with a significant force, he could just completely mop up NightEnd's forces. That is a possibility. The income is the concern right now, though. The income is certainly the concern. NightEnD behind in minerals. That is due to muling that is going on. Let's take a look at the worker count anyways. 36 SCVs to 51 probes. But that's all going to change as NightEnD now getting up this third, and the income's going to start to push in his favor now that he gets that saturated. And again, we're still a little ways away before Judge actually gets his expansion up. Now this is going to be an orbital command and then lift it off, so we're probably at least another 30 seconds to a minute before we actually see any mining from that. And then he has to transfer over SCVs. I do believe he plans to try to hide this right down here. Now that could get Judge back in the game if he manages to maintain a hidden expansion. That would be very significant for him. And that Zealot's not going to scout it in time. That Zealot's going to hit that scout position way too early. Looks like he's going to continue to move around with that Zealot, but man, I do not really know about that at all. NightEnD fully saturated now at that expansion. Psionic Storm also coming out. He's done the 2-2. Would like to see those 3-3 immediately if that's possible, my friend. A little low on Vespene though, so not seeing that quite yet. Probably just going to continue to churn out those Zealots. He's got tons of minerals and not enough Vespene. Just now, again, those assimilators. I do not know why these came so late. I think that was a mistake on NightEnd's part. Definitely could have got those assimilators earlier. Again, you can see he really is struggling for Vespene here. All right, Judge now finished the 3-3 upgrades. This is the moment that I was talking about. If Judge is going to get himself in the game, it needs to be before we see NightEnD get his 3-3. Losing a couple of medevacs to Blink Stalker certainly doesn't help his cause. Judge, man, oh man, gotta do something to get yourself back in this. Few units pulling on forward, stimming up. There's that Guardian Shield as NightEnD is prepared to engage, spreading his forces to try to prevent EMPs from being all that effective. And here we go. Bio stims up. Charge Zealots moving forward. Massive EMPs get laid down. And 3-3 upgrades. What did I tell ya? 3-3 upgrades. Judge tears through the forces of NightEnD. EMPs certainly helped as well. No question about that, but the upgrade advantage cannot be discounted. That played a significant role in that engagement. Beautiful, beautiful. That is exactly what Judge needed. No question about that. He is now quite a bit ahead. Still hasn't killed off many workers, but looks like he's about to take a high yield and continue up this aggression. A little concerned for NightEnD now. He's had a strong lead for this game, but Judge just demolished his army and is prepared to counterattack. And I'm really concerned that NightEnD might be losing this expansion over here. We got Psionic Storm ready though. He's gonna pull on forward. A couple of them missed that EMP. Judge spotting those High Templar decides to pull back. Viking still doing nothing as there has been no transition into Colossus at all. This is kind of wasted resources right here for Judge. He's expecting a transition, but it's not coming. I'm telling you, man. It is not coming at all. Not at all. No counter aggression at all. NightEnD can't expand right now. He can't leave his base. He's gotta be able to push out to be able to get another expansion up, and this could significantly hurt him. Comes another push right now. Again, NightEnD trying. He's trying, but man, he's got to be careful. Nice feedbacks there in the medevacs. Should be seeing some storms. There it is on all those Marines. Ouch. Say the Marines. I don't know that there's enough force here for NightEnD, though, to continue up this push, so it's going to be forced back. No more energy there on those High Templar. One of them almost getting sniped just at the end. They're going to see a couple Archons as they are all out of energy. If Judge keeps up this contain, I tell ya, he's going to get this in the bag. Now, we're going to see a transition into Colossus, but Judge is ready. He's got tons of Vikings already. He doesn't even need to make any more. Those 8 Vikings are going to be ample for the few numbers of Colossus that NightEnD will have by the time the next engagement takes place. And NightEnD is just pinned right now. He's pinned, and it's awful. He needs to be able to expand, but he's not able to. Nice Storm. Helping even up the odds. Still behind, though. He's feeling confident now after that storm. Laid waste to a bunch of those Marines. He needs to do something about that high yield. He cannot let that stay up, and he cannot not expand. So 2 things he cannot do. That is true. That is true, my friends. Continue to push forward. Grabs the Ghost before he can land an EMP or snipe. That was very nice indeed. A couple of Zealots trying to start working out these units. Gets another Ghost before he does anything. I'm not sure why Judge isn't doing anything with those Ghosts. Just letting them get killed. Just not paying enough attention or what? NightEnD continues to try to push right now. Doing what he can to break this contain. He's doing a good job. Slow and steady. Wins the race. Couple of Zealots pulling forward, and finally looks like Judge will be forced to leave this high yield expansion, and NightEnD gets a little bit of breathing room. Do we have any Colossus coming on through yet? Nice Storm again. Let's take a look at the number of workers killed. Yeah, NightEnD continues to climb. 33 workers killed so far this game. Contain is not enough. It's economic damage that he needs to do. Let's see if he's still got that upgrade advantage. I think he does, yes. NightEnD has not worked up into 3-3. Need to be careful as that bio continues to grow strong. Pulls on forward. EMP! Oh my, that was beautifully placed. 2 EMPs. Took out all the energy of everything. Forced to engage as he was going to get chased down anyways, and NightEnD just lost the game. A little bit overextending himself with his forces. Gets slammed by 2 EMPs. That was very, very unfortunate there for NightEnD, and he's going to be trying to storm to keep these units at bay, but that was a big, big loss, continuously setting him behind, and he's still just on the 3 bases, only one of which is mining. That is also the case for Judge, but again, look at how far behind NightEnD is, but take a look at that army supply as well. That's pretty telling in and of itself. NightEnD just leaves the game, apparently not thinking it was a GG. Despite what NightEnD may have thought, this was a very, very good game between NightEnD and Judge. We started early on with NightEnD being significantly ahead, doing a lot of damage to his opponent. We then saw 3-3 upgrades from Judge, allowing him to stop an additional push from NightEnD, and then Judge was able to contain NightEnD, and then of course, we saw this final engagement. Very, very one-sided. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thanks again, guys. Keep watching, keep owning.